that video. Not the stream, just the video. Alright, let's go. I don't know what that says. Poop 'em? Poop 'em! There goes more bats. Can I fall off? No. Let's go up the ladder. Can't fall off still. Bloody streaks or something. A patch of smeared dirt and grass. There was beat up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it? Slid the filthy wallet into my back pocket. I noticed it didn't contain any kind of gun permit. In fact, it didn't contain any cards or IDs of any kind. I thought I should recover my credit card and driver's license at least. From the railing, I could see over to the woods and down to the entrance of the sewers. Had I come from there before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me. Right. It was getting cool up there as I shivered with an uneasy sense of what was to come. How did I get home from here? Hold on, what's over here? This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on that map I had seen. Whoever was poking around in those tunnels underneath the man's house had scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. Here's the sign that pointed to various campsites and walking paths within the woods. I've mentioned a river, maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded for me to see clearly. Trampled into the dirt and grass was a plastic card of some kind. I brushed it off and surprised to see it was my credit card. I wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Hell yeah, I took it back. I pocketed the credit card. Hopefully I could find my driver's license too. Through the fence I could see a dilapidated outbuilding. I wondered if I could find my way around. There were some personal effects shoved back into the rock. Wait, there was a notebook in there too. Did I read it? Yeah. Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was a page after warm page of names and lists. None of it made much sense. The newest page contained several names. Heather, Olivia, Ashley. Alright, lots of names. Rachel, her name was last on the list. And he had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Daphne and Olivia had been crossed out in the same blue ink. Alright, and there were others crossed out but looked more faded. This is pretty creepy, guys. I mean, even for a shitty little side scroller, it's pretty creepy. The sounds I keep hearing. A few embers still burned within the fire pit. Who was camping here? Was it... Who else was out there in those woods? One of the two folding camping chairs was knocked over and there was beer spilled everywhere. Were the campers run off or why did the campers run off and where did they run off in such a hurry? The quiet forest was suffocating. I couldn't help but feel like I was being watched. There was a cheap two-person dome tent. Through the screen on the front, I could see two sleeping bags, backpacks, and a small cooler. As I peered into the tent and around the campsite, I kept thinking about the names in that book. I would look through those backpacks. Alright, I came from here, right? Yeah. So what's in here? That's also where I came from. Yeah. So what about going over one? into here. The sign was the same as the first one I had seen. Must have been the exit on the other side of the woods. I had finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. Through the dense trees, I could finally start to see some light. I must have been at the edge of the forest. Though I wasn't sure where the path ahead of me led, I could almost feel the cryptic notebook in my pocket as I tried to think about what it could mean and where the campers had abandoned their site. Who would I meet them, or would I meet them too? Though the path ahead of me was less dense, I still felt guarded and wary. Who knew what was ahead? Well, there's so much back there I want to go look at, though. I don't want to keep going this way. I want to look back. But as I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized Auto Parts Factory, where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago. Now, times were better than then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. I heard something. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. Old work clothes had been picked through, and a few photos, notes had been ripped off the door and spread around. The door was locked shut, and there was a little electronic box under the handle. Sign was pasted to the front of that. It said, "Danger, closed for repairs." There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, snaking off to other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected in the corners. The box wasn't receiving any power. The door was locked tight. It seemed to be connected to the power box. This is actually creepy, guys. Every part of the plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. The board contained yellow clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. Norman took over a general store after the factory closed. Rachel and I would get lunch every now and then. Rachel liked him because he seemed more positive despite the setback. I don't think I could say the same about me. A power panel. It looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Still wasn't working. Did I try it again? The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it was scratched out and the face was unrecognizable. The woman's photo. I knew I had to get back to Rachel, find out what happened. Another power panel, yeah. Seemed to be working. Was shut tight. There was a rusty looking card in the slot on the side. How come I can't take the rusty looking card? Something's gonna fucking happen here soon. Our old break table. Layer of dust and grime made seeing this sting more. Odd, it seemed like some beer bottles had been used on the table recently. They weren't as dusty as the rest of it. Yeah, someone's been drinking a lot. The door has been hastily boarded up. This was Norman's locker. The door was dented like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when he worked there. My head ached, and I recall the last time Norman, Rachel, and I all had lunch together. Rachel seemed so much more at ease when we all hung out. Another panel. Hoped I could get the power back on. Yes. A utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Did I take it? Yeah. I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools. Shit, dude. Being useful and productive was all I ever wanted. Okay. When the factory closed, everything got worse. Locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Did I take it? Yeah. I think that goes to the door at the bottom floor, maybe? From the musty smell, I assumed no one had used the locker for a long time. Another panel? Yes. Didn't work. Didn't work. Didn't work. That one worked. Got that one working. What makes me feel safe? A shotgun with armor-piercing rounds, or ultimate zombie bunker with supplies? Ultimate zombie bunker with supplies. I would feel a little safer. Dude, there's new sounds going on here. Oh, God. Oh, wait, it worked. The hammer, I guess. I didn't read what it said, but I guess I used the hammer to open it. This was my locker. There in the factory. It stank of booze. There was a picture of Rachel on the inside. It looked like it had been torn up. I thought I had taken that picture home when the factory closed. This room was nothing but bad memories. I think the character that we're playing as, like, went nuts and killed a lot of people. That's what I think. The floor was littered with old liquor bottles. I wondered if that man in the house had something to do with this. He sure had a lot of alcohol in his place. It reeked of sour stench of leftover liquor. It's like this guy could have blacked out and killed a bunch of people, maybe. I don't know. This is creepy and weird. I like it. Just checking. I think I've been here already. Yeah. I just need to go all the way downstairs, I think. Something's gonna happen. Power box looked like it was running again. Yay! I guess those switches must have done the trick. With the power box working again, the door was unlocked. Did I go through? Yeah, hell yeah, that's what I did that for. A rack of flashlights hung on the wall. One of them was missing. Yeah, the one that you're holding. Wait a minute. I turned mine over and looked at the bottom. Judging by the label, it definitely could have come from that rack. I'm telling you. My head pounded as I stepped back outside, once again enveloped in the scent, enveloped in the scent of pine trees and muck. The path beyond was terribly dark, and I was grateful that my flashlight was still working. I wondered, though, was it taken from the plant? Seemed to, but how did I get a hold of it? Little choice but to follow the path and hope that it got back into town. I wondered, Norman, had this store along a main road? Was he close? If he was, I could certainly use some help. Alright, hold on. No. Oh, fuck. There was stuff that I didn't go look at before. Like, I'm gonna have to play the game again just to go look at that stuff. I figured I would go back to the other side of this and then go in that, there was like a train station or something that... What's this? A pickup had smashed into the guardrail and stood silent. Was this the truck that those newspaper clippings mentioned? Was there really a body found here too? Look closer at the tailgate and can see a series of dried streaks down its back. Inside the truck was dried blood and broken glass. I was surprised this hadn't been towed away yet. Yeah, there's so much stuff that I walked right past earlier that I was planning on going back. Yeah, I think this guy was a was a psychopath instead of Zombie Princess Kenny killing everyone. Yes, that's what I think. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. I've barely done anything in this game. I've never gotten anywhere near as far as we are. The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food in slick black bags. I saw a thin greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It was my driver's license. It looked damaged. Did I take it back? Hell yeah, dude. It's my freaking driver's license. I cleaned the card off as best as I could. It looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card, and now this. I tucked the card into my wallet next to my credit card. You find your conceal and carry, handgun license yet, buddy? Sounded like it was going to start raining again. Great. Let's go inside. I had entered Norman's place. It was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet except for the faint sound of a television. Norman, you here? Or did I kill you too? Entrance to the front of the store was locked from the inside. Looked like I couldn't just pop it open. It needed a key. There's a bit of blood on the keyhole. My control's vibrating. There's blood right there. What was this? It looked like a pull chain hanging from the ceiling. I wondered where it would lead. Did I pull it? Yeah. I gave it a single tug. A simple folding ladder from the attic popped down. The TV flickered some indecipherable channel. I couldn't make out what was on the screen, but that glow just gave me the chills. How come I can't turn it off? Oh no, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my coworker, one of the few friends that I had in this town, lay dead beside his armchair. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been shot trying to get up. His eyes were still wide with shock. Norman, you deserve better than this. Did you close his eyes? No. I was too scared about Rachel to stay there another moment. Screw that. His eyes could stay open, right? I don't need to touch him. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from 2 cups still there on the wood. Yeah, because you were hanging out with him before you killed him, you creep. I'd never been to Norman's place before. At least, I didn't remember ever doing so. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. Did I dig through that mess? Did I? I guess. Found a hairpin and pocketed it. I bet that hairpin can pick the lock downstairs. I'm telling you, this guy is a psychopath. I really think that he went and killed Norman and all those people and probably his girlfriend. There was a large cardboard box that hadn't been sealed. Did I open it? Sure. Inside the box was a pile of clothes, photos, and even shoes. As I looked closer, I realized they were Rachel's. What were they doing here? Rachel? What were you doing here, Rachel? Were you responsible for poor old Norman downstairs? No. The items in the box only made my head spin more. I desperately needed answers. wasn't entirely surprised to find this there. It was one of Rachel's old fall coats. I always wondered what happened to it. How long had it been there? There was a little bit of something dark staining the sleeve. Inside the cabinet was a small but impressive collection of hunting rifles, shotguns, and even a few items I didn't think were illegal here. One of the slots in the rack was empty. The gun I had found seemed to be the match. If the handgun was Norman's, what the hell was he doing, or was I doing with it? The gun would have fit there. Did I place it back? Though it weighed on me, I had a hard time parting with the weapon just then. I seriously doubt that would open any special anything. Putting the gun back where it belongs, you know? I used the hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. I never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. The register was mostly empty. A fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. I wondered if someone had robbed the place before killing Norman. I don't know, how much money do you have, homeboy? The icebox seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. I could only think of poor Norman upstairs. There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of them showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be much better shape then. All of the postcards that seemed to be the most popular, there were only a few left. That night continued to take horrible turn after horrible turn. It'd be weeks since I'd last seen Norman, but to find him like that, as I thought of him, still lying on the floor back there, the gun I carried seemed ever present. Seeing the dusty box of those old clothes was a shock. How long had they been there? And what was Rachel doing at Norman's place? I felt like I had only discovered more questions, no answers. But I was close to home. It was time to find out the truth. Alright, so I gotta check out these places. We'll start at the right and work our way down. Dude, weird enough, this game actually got my heart beating. It was locked, it wasn't the right gate. Locked. Wasn't my house. Is this my house? Lots of TVs out by the trash. Gate was locked tight, wasn't my house. Neighborhood's local post box. Letter was sticking out. If someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I look at it? Yeah. Envelope was addressed to Norman, but the handwriting looked familiar. Took a deep breath and tore open the package. Norman, I'm sending you this letter because I'm afraid to tell you this in person. What we did, well, it was wrong. My husband isn't an easy man to be with, but is my husband and your friend. I need some time to sort this out away from you both. I'm going away for a while. I'm going to tell him. Norman, so you don't think you can hold that against me? Maybe we'll work it out. I'm not sure I even want to, but he deserves at least that much. Goodbye. She's been cheating on me with Norman. I'm heartbroken. I had entered our backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. held my breath as I approached my back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing. Ragged and then strained. Alright, so what I'm thinking is Homeboy, I don't know what my character's name is. I'm going to call him Homeboy. I think Homeboy found out that Norman and his girlfriend were sneaking around on him, drank enough that he blacked out and continued drinking a lot, and went and killed a bunch of people. Maybe. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. I remember having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or sometime before? There was a small pile of mail on the floor in front of the mail slot. How long had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill there. Did I open it? Yeah. To my surprise, it said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? Front door was locked from inside. Though I couldn't go out, though I needed to see if Rachel was here. Okay. Oh, I couldn't go out though. Dude, Rachel said she left. She needs time away from us. Where did I put that damn key?